Is this evidence or am I just imagining it? I, 27F, work overnights. My boyfriend, 27M, who I have lived with for 4 years, been together 8, works during the day. So pretty much every morning when I come home, our bedsheets are all tangled up and slept in because he leaves for work without making it. So about a week ago, I made the bed before I left for work in the evening. When I got back in the morning, the bed was made exactly as I had left it. Everything was left exactly as I had left it the night before. He is not capable of making the bed like I do. Also, my sleep mask was right where I left it under his pillow. Something he probably would have moved if he had slept there. I thought it was odd, and at the time I didn't know why, but I made a note of the date on the phone and just jotted down that he did not sleep in the bed. I asked him about it that evening. I even phrased it like, "Oh, did you fall asleep on the couch or something?" And he said no. So I said, "That's weird because when I came home the bed hadn't been slept in." He insisted that he just slipped under the covers, didn't move at all while he slept, and when he got up in the morning just pulled the cover back up. He was adamant and said he didn't know what else to tell me. I find this very hard to believe. The shampillow was still in place and his nightly habit is to throw the shampillow across the room when he goes to sleep, and he never puts it back in the morning. Fast forward to a few days later. I was using his phone because mine was dead. Something told me to look at his search history. I found multiple Google searches for hotels in our town from that night where the bed was unslept in. I know he had gone to dinner with his co-workers that night too. He had told me about that. But now I'm left with the question of why the bed wasn't slept in and why he was searching for hotels in our city. I can't confide to anyone in my life about this and just want to know if it looks as bad as I think it does. Yes, unfortunately it does look as bad as you think it does. I mean, unfortunately that isn't a coincidence. Why would he need a hotel? And it just happened to be the exact same night you noticed the bed was slept in. I'd be questioning if he was even out with coworkers. And if he was, it was probably a specific one. Whatever the reason, he lied to you. It's likely a bad reason, but even if it's something dumb, he still lied. You have all the evidence you need to confront him on the lie. I would confront him before he has any more time to think and see what he says. It will tell you a lot. Yeah, he's acting rather suspicious. He went to dinner with his co-workers in the same town, yet decided to book a hotel when it was late when he could have just booked an Uber or drove home. And the fact that he had to lie about sleeping in the bed? Seriously, who the hell would buy that? Think you have a good hunch here, but it's good to check for more evidence. Well, it certainly has a miasma of uncertainty around it at the very least. Has he cheated before? Was he at one time a casual drug user? Have you been feeling a disconnect between the both of you? Does he sometimes drink to excess? The options are varied, and if this is a one-off unusual behavior, it could be an innocent thing such as got too drunk at the meal and decided to stay safely in motel, then embarrassed to tell you, though that does sound a tad weak and really the only plausible thing. Was the night out a credible thing or cover for some Tinder-esque type meeting? Sadly, unless he breaks, your chances of knowing for certain just how bad this event was are pretty small, unless you have more uncertainties you can investigate or are friendly with some of the colleagues enough to trust them to tell you the actual events and believe them. I thought about maybe he just got too drunk, but I feel like why spring for a hotel room when Uber exists? You know, I'm going to try to investigate some more before I confront him about it. I'm not close with his co-workers. The one I am most friendly with is a very attractive woman who I first thought of when my brain started exploring the possibility that he was cheating. My 22M supervisor is flirting with me and I don't want to piss her off because I really need this job. It's my first job out of college and it's related to my degree. I just got up out of my parents' house, got an apartment with my girlfriend, and quitting isn't an option. On my first day on the job about 2 weeks ago, she asked me to go with her to lunch. I held the door open for her when we were walking out of our office suite. She said thank you and asked if there was a lucky lady in my life. I said yes, actually there is. We're going on 5 years together. She went, oh, a high school sweetheart. She's been texting me these memes on and off, to which I always only respond with the haha reaction. She also touches my back a lot when she walks by, and I don't know how to tell her to stop without shooting my career in the foot. Plus, I feel like I'm lying when I tell my girlfriend my day was fine when she asks about it. The replies I'm seeing in here aren't helpful. So many people are just saying what they want you to do without regard for the backlash. This is how I would approach it. 1. Tell my GF. 2. Stop replying to the memes, for God's sake. 3. If she touches my back, ignore it. Ignore it so coldly that she gets no satisfaction. 4. Say no to all lunches. Don't give a reason. 5. Just continue to work but be nothing but an employee. 6. You should probably be passively looking at the job market, because eventually she will get frustrated with you. Edit. Felt the need to add on to this because of the post under mine. Do not speak to HR. They will not take your side no matter what you present, and they will fuck you up professionally. I don't even use the bathroom across from the HR department. That's how much I try to avoid them. Stop replying to the texts/memes. If she asks about it, you were busy and didn't notice it. Don't give her any reciprocations and keep your boundaries strong. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Please tell your GF to avoid any unnecessary misunderstanding, and also try to avoid her as much as possible. Aside from that, good luck with whatever happens. 1. Tell your GF. 2. Stop responding to her memes. 3. Next time she touches you on your back or wherever, tell her it makes you uncomfortable. You could go so far as telling her you have phobia, fear of being touched. 4. Note when number 3 happens. If she doesn't stop, continue making a log of date and time when she touches you or says inappropriate things. BC. If she doesn't stop her behavior, you may have to take it to HR. 5. Look for another job. Stop texting her off hours. If she touches you, move away. But TBH, if you work at a large company, I would document all of this. They don't want a harassment lawsuit. Trust me. My 34M wife, 26F, is acting completely different all of a sudden, not wanting to leave the house, not eating, not sleeping, freaking out when people are over. She's not telling me what's wrong. What do I do? Update. Thanks everyone, I talked to my wife and figured it out, dealing with it now. I hope you guys can give me insight on my wife, because I have no idea what's going on or why, and she isn't helping me out here. We got married 3 years ago. She's 26F, I'm 34M. No kids, a lot of pets. She's always been outgoing, fun-loving. Recently she turned into a different person. She doesn't like leaving the house. She didn't even stay in this much during the worst of the pandemic. Our house is at the edge of the woods and she won't even leave to go hiking or kayaking, which she used to do nearly every day. She's lost weight, but not because she's dieting or working out. She just doesn't eat that much anymore. She'll make dinner, then take 2 bites and say she's full. She doesn't want anyone coming over our house anymore. Everyone is vaccinated, so it's not like she's worried about that. But when I mention people coming over, she says flat out no, I don't feel like it, not tonight. Last week a few of my buddies came over to go fishing. Wife said she wasn't in the mood to see anyone, so she stayed inside. 15 minutes later I get a call from inside the house. She's crying and can't breathe because they're over, even though we were half a mile away at the lake. I told my friends to leave and went back, and she was shaking like a leaf on the bathroom floor, freaking out. She doesn't sleep that much anymore. She's always asleep after me and up before me, and I get up real early. Sometimes she's jumpy, like she's on alert for something. I've tried to talk to her about it, but she says nothing is wrong and gets upset as I try to push it. I've always been clueless when it comes to dealing with emotional stuff. I don't know what to do past this point because she's not telling me what's going on. She's saying nothing is wrong. She doesn't want to go to therapy, and she doesn't want to talk to her family or any of her friends about anything. ETA, sorry I forgot to add this. I had to leave for a bit and a lot of these changes happened while I was gone. She said nothing happened during that time. Update. Thanks everyone, I talked to my wife and figured it out, dealing with it now. This 100% sounds like trauma response. If you can do it, I would highly recommend professional help because the impact, change from previous self, is so severe. It may also be possible the trauma is ongoing, so please don't rely on old trusts and pay very close attention to what, or who, triggers her, as it may give you some clue as to the nature and source of the trauma. The natural assumption is sexual trauma, but focusing there could make you miss another type of trauma, so just be observant, supportive and get her help ASAP, since I can guarantee she's not happy feeling like this, she just doesn't know how not to. Apologies if this was already mentioned. Any chance one of your buddies came by the house to check on her while you were gone? This could be a lot of things, but being assaulted by her husband's friend could explain her not wanting to talk about it. So, if I were you, I would tell my friends that the rules have changed and they are not permitted free access to my shop, property, and home. Your wife needs the ability to feel safe and comfortable, not be always on guard against people stopping by. Your shop is by appointment only, and those appointments are not made without your wife's knowledge and consent. She should know who is on the property at all times, and not have to guess or go outside and be surprised. If any of your friends do locker room talk, I would not allow those friends on the property, and not go to see them. I would tell your wife that you just didn't appreciate the way they were rude to women. Words are cheap. Make actions and changes to let her know you are listening to her and want her to feel safe. If what is going on is a medical issue, and not a reaction to something that happened, you still would have made positive steps by setting some boundaries. As a woman who has people stopping by to use her property a lot, I can say that boundaries are better. I need to know when I can expect someone to be there, and when I am alone. I do not want men who locker room talk around at all. Not when I am alone, and not with other men there who they can escalate with and who will take their side if I tell them they are out of line. Just going to add on to this, watch for the friends who react badly to being put on an appointment type schedule and having it approved by your wife. This may tell you more and narrow down who might have hurt her if this is what happened. Everybody's mentioning mental illness, but is it possible she was assaulted and hasn't felt comfortable enough to tell you yet? You say she used to go out and be active a lot and all of a sudden that stopped. Maybe something happened. Either way, she needs help.